Hi, welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate. I'm your host, Charlie Flannery, and I have two guests today. On my left is Sue Schmidt.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Sue. Sue is the president-elect of the North Bristol County Board of Realtors. And we are also honored today to have with us Miss Kelly Lewis,
Nice to see you again, Charlie.
a well-known establishment figure here in the real estate industry, and a past president of the North Bristol County Board of Realtors.
Yes.
Welcome to both of you ladies, and
Thank
thanks
you
for
very
coming
much.
to Let's Talk Real Estate.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
We're going to talk today about some of the good things that that the realtors do to help our community, and one of the avenues that we pursue to enable us to reach out to the community is we have various fundraisers, and the big thing we're going to talk about today is our golf tournament coming up June 9th.
Yes. Yes. That is.
Go ahead, Sue.
That is our largest fundraising event that we do at the North Bristol County Board of Realtors. It's scheduled for June 9th this year at the Back Nine Club in Lakeville. It's our first year at the Back Nine Club. Yeah, it is really nice. It's a great organization they have there. And we're holding it in Lakeville a little bit closer to the Taunton community, so with everybody's schedules, it would be easier for them to get there and play some golf and come out and support the charities in the Taunton community that we support.
Now, this is our 10th coming up,
Yes,
right?
yes, yep.
And how did we do last year? You were involved with last year's event, right? Kel?
We've been successful every year. I mean, every year we raise, more money than the year before, and we do a lot of good things with that money, you know, helping the community. And we hold every year we do an elderly meal for the elderly in the middle of February to break up the winter for them, and that's at the Elks Club and everything, and it's a nice little thing for them.
We did some things with Homes for Our Troops.
Yes.
And other things helping out veterans, and
Yes, we do.
we do a lot of outreach to the community that a lot of times the folks aren't aware of.
Right.
Yes.
Some of the good things we do.
Yeah.
So how many folks will be playing this game?
As of today, we have 87 registered realtors and affiliate members, bankers, home inspectors, different people that participate in our industry registered to play. We have room for a few more, so anyone who wants to sign up, but that is our largest group so far, so hopefully it will be a very successful year for us.
And this is an 18-hole event?
It is. It's an
Yeah.
18-hole golf course, par 3 golf course, so you don't have to be a really great golfer. It's a fun course to play.
My goal is to one day break 150.
Me
And
too.
that would be on a par 3.
Yes.
And I'll only play with somebody if they're cool with unlimited mulligans.
Listen, I'll be a partner.
Yeah, we can do a thing. You know, I mean, if you're willing to those
Yes.
basic terms. And my favorite club is the size 10.
Me, yeah.
Yeah.
The last hole.
Yes.
So, and there's also an event at the 19th hole, right? Some type of a
Yes.
banquet.
Cookout. They do a nice cookout for everybody, and they do a nice job. I mean, it's a nice meal.
And there's going to be some silent auction items. There will be some Paw Sox tickets, some Red Sox tickets. There'll be a condo in North Carolina for a week that will be raffled off in a silent auction. And we'll also have another smaller raffle for smaller prizes, bottles of wine and liquor, and also some gift certificates as well as another fundraising, and we'll be selling plenty of mulligans as a fundraiser as well.
Now, this all takes place in the 19th hole?
Yes.
Or at the 19th hole?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't have to be a realtor or a realtor affiliate. If someone's out there listening and they just want to contribute to a worthy cause, they can show up for the dinner, the cookout.
Yep.
We do have to know ahead of time, but they can call the local board office.
Oh, you can call, I have that number. You can call 508-880-0722. Ask for Joan.
Good job.
Yeah. So, and what's the silent auction sounds good.
Yeah.
Have we ever raffled off a trip to, a condo down in South Carolina before?
Last
Yes.
year was the first year that we did that. That's actually donated by Joan.
Oh, wow.
She does.
Yes,
Yeah.
she does donate
How much did
that.
it go for last year? You can't say. No, probably not.
I can't remember.
Was it
Quite
more?
a bit. I would say well over $500.
Yeah, it did.
Wow,
yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
We have some generous relatives.
Well, that leaves
Fighting
me.
for some good gifts there, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and Red Sox tickets always go really well, and they're tough to buy
Good
these days.
seats?
Very good seats, from
Yeah.
what I understand. So that's another thing. And there's a lot of items. Pretty much everybody who goes walks away with a prize by the time.
Yeah.
There'll be probably 50 to 60 smaller prizes that people will walk away with. So it's a fun event, great time that everyone has.
Now, here's what I really want to know. Marty Desjardins, past president of the North Bristol County Board of Realtors. He's been on the show a couple of times. Great guy, you know.
Yep,
Can he play golf? He always tells me he's a great golfer.
better than me.
Yeah.
I have to say he's
Yes.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he won last year, didn't his team?
I think so, his
I
team
think
did,
came
yeah.
in first last year. And
He
in the
always tries to
tournament,
fish me in for, let's play for $10 a ball or something.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Don't fall for it.
No, because I don't. The only thing I know about golf is the object is to hit it straight and as infrequently as possible.
That's it.
Yeah. Other than that, I got a couple of good golf jokes, but they're not rated PG. So we'll have to spare those. Are you going to be playing this year, Sue?
I am. I've never participated. The course we played at before was a much tougher course, so I think I can only mildly embarrass myself playing this year. So I will take the day and play. So I'm
But the
looking forward
back
to it.
nine, they're all hopping the wrapper. Nobody notices.
Yeah, it's
you know?
out in the woods.
Now,
and
is that the place that's right off? How do you get there? Is it right off of 44?
if you go down 18 from Taunton to the Rotary, you take 18 into Lakeville.
Okay.
At the intersection of 105 and 18,
Yep.
you take a right there.
Okay.
And there's a fork in the road. You're going to bear left, take your first left, and then your second right onto Heritage Hill Drive.
Right.
Heritage Hill Drive.
Yes.
Bring your TomTom or Navigator,
Yes.
whatever it takes, because I don't think I could ever find my way there,
Now
Yeah.
that you have that navigation, it's just,
I know,
How
we're all
did-
spoiled with that.
yes.
How did we make do?
I don't know, but I don't even have to think because that's on. You know what I mean? Like, you're busy and you got to get somewhere and it talks to you, so I don't even have to think anymore. So
Remember that something quest we used to have to use?
Yep.
I remember a few years back, me and a couple of buddies, we were heading out to Marshfield. And so I printed the directions
quest.
out. Oh, blank quest. There goes the show, Kelly,
I
for
know.
God's sakes. So anyway, printed out the instructions, and it took us an hour and a half to get to Marshfield. And then when we were wrapping things up, we told people about the journey we had had. They said, "Oh no, just drive down here a mile, take your first left, you'll be right on Route 44." We were back in town in 25 minutes.
It can
You
send
know?
you on some circles.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the old
old way.
Yeah, yeah. This one at least, and I like the fact that it corrects itself.
Yeah,
like if I know the
that's
shortcut,
Yeah.
One time I was on my way to New Hampshire to visit this friend, and every time I'd go by an exit, it would tell me, turn right. And I was like up in Avon, you know what I mean? And I know I got another 100 miles to go before I get to New Hampshire. And I ended up shutting the thing off, and I found out later I had somehow programmed it to take nothing but back roads.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it probably would have been a
what-
3-day
yeah.
journey to New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
So is there any side betting that goes on? I mean, you know, friendly wagering.
Sure.
Can a guy get in on some of the action? Are there any ringers? What do you guys, but we want the skinny.
They're more or less the same teams every year. They're pretty faithful to, and they come every year, and it's, unless somebody can't make it and they got to take someone else in, they pretty much have their foursomes already planned, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so, and it's all in good fun. But you know, those scores are very close at the end, and there's always someone vying to see who won. I usually am on the team that comes in last. But I'm okay with that.
But you showed up, you know, you got to go to the dance,
yes,
you know, and that's what counts.
Yeah.
So like, now, this is a par 3. So I really know nothing about golf. So that means what? You're supposed to have it in that little hole within three shots?
Within 3 shots.
Okay. Now, what was the old course like?
It was par 4.
Par 4.
And it was a much more difficult and a longer. You'd have to be able to drive the ball a lot further to be
I
successful.
hate those.
Yeah.
In
So
straight,
it's tougher.
rather than, you know, these are wider fairways in a lot of cases and a little bit more forgiving, and you don't end up in the woods as much.
Yeah, the beginner golfers are going to like this golf course better. The serious ones,
We'll have a fun day.
yeah. Maybe they'll be teaching some of us.
Well, so far, it's been a terrific first half. We're coming up against a hard break for a couple of public service announcements. Please don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with more of Let's Talk Real Estate.
Some things require experts at every stage.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Others are more just a matter of taste and preference.
Just the way I like them.
Buying a home falls somewhere in between. That's why you should visit HomeLoanLearningCenter.com for expert guidance. A website where you can learn just how you should go about buying a home. You'll get facts, tools, and impartial advice. From seeing a lender to settlement and beyond, there's a step-by-step explanation of the process. All at HomeLoanLearningCenter.com.
Houston, we have a solution.
Think of it as mission control for buying a home. That's HomeLoanLearningCenter.com.
This is a message from HUD, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Can you afford your home loan? Could your mortgage payment increase in a few months to something you can't afford? Hi, I'm Ruby D. If you're not sure you can continue to make your mortgage payments, call a government-approved housing counselor in your community for free and confidential help. Keep your home. Know your loan. Call today.
Call 877-HUD-1515. That's 877-HUD-1515 or go to HUD.gov.
Hi, welcome back to more of Let's Talk Real Estate. I'm your host, Charlie Flannery, still here at World Headquarters, and my guests, who were kind enough not to have left during the break, Sue Schmidt, President-elect of the North Bristol County Board of Realtors, and Kelly Lewis, past president and Realtor extraordinaire.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. I think what I'd like to talk about in this second half are some of the activities that we're involved in with various legislative bodies to protect the real estate market and to really protect home buyers.
Right.
Okay? One of the things I know that we've been very involved with for the past couple of years is the battle to save the mortgage interest deduction. And a lot of bad people up on Capitol Hill
Yep.
would like to tap into that money and do away with it entirely. Now, the realtors have been fighting to preserve it.
Yes.
Have you had any involvement? Or where do we stand?
Our offices participated in the call to actions that have come to all of the realtors from both the state and national level, where we've been able to make calls to our local legislators and also send letters into them just explaining our position on why we want to protect that mortgage interest deduction, and that home ownership does matter, and building our communities, having the homeowners in those communities is what makes the community. So part of owning a home is being able to have the financial ability to deduct that interest and save in your tax bill and have more money to invest in your community.
Oh yeah, I've seen forecasts that say that if they were to eliminate the mortgage interest deduction totally, we'd see anywhere from a 15 to 25% further decline in values.
Yes.
From, I don't know how you get less than zero, but you know, but those are the kinds of numbers that I've seen. Now, you guys must be dealing with, I would presume, the Massachusetts congressional delegation for the most part.
Actually,
Yeah.
National too.
The national, we get calls to contact our national senators and representatives as well. So both locally.
Now let's talk about the people from Massachusetts. Are they all pretty much on our side?
For the most part, when it comes to the mortgage interest deduction, for the most part, they are very supportive and understand the needs of the homeowners.
Well, I think they're for the people, you know what I mean? They're for the American people, and we all need that mortgage deduction.
We've gotten a lot of bipartisan support,
yes,
I think.
we do.
You know?
And we have a good lobbyist down there in Washington for all the realtors, so we're fighting for everybody in, you know, the United States, you know, all the Americans for them to have that, so it's important.
Actually, realtors are the only national organized advocate for the homeowner,
Right. Yeah.
on a national level.
Yeah, I don't know if people really realize that. It's true.
Well, it's important every time I have fellow realtors, or even if it's just myself with another guest, I try to put that forward to let people know we're here behind the scenes. And one thing I didn't realize is that there's such a long involvement when someone makes a commitment to serve in the capacity of a president, that it's really a 3-year commitment, because like I said, Marty Desjardins is now serving as past president.
Right.
He's not gone into retirement. He's still helping out at the meetings.
Very much so, very involved.
And Bill Callahan, obviously he was president-elect before he moved in, and so it's a good it's a
It
good
helps with the
3-year.
transition.
It does. It really does, and it passes that torch along.
And it's a good organization because we can always reach back to our past presidents too for advice and for help, and you know, to know what worked for them and what didn't. They're all there for us.
That's
so
one of the reasons I've never
it's a great
run.
organization.
Because, you know, for the rest of your life,
You
you'll be getting phone
are.
calls. You know what I mean? No mercy. You
Yeah.
know? As far as the mortgage interest deduction, though, I mean, I think if they want to try to finesse it, I don't know if there's currently a cutoff at which point you can't make the deduction. Like if I were to buy a $10 million home, do I still get the interest deduction on that? Or one of the things that ticks me off is occasionally I'll watch those shows where people are, you know, selling houses in California, and it's a 700 square foot ranch, and some guy thinks he's getting a heck of a deal at $750,000.
Yeah.
You know?
Very different from our marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, forgive me for my fans watching out in California, but I mean, you know, if you can afford a $750,000 mortgage, you don't need my help as a taxpayer. Just me, just my opinion. You know what I mean? But I think definitely it should be preserved for, you know, the vast middle class, people that are, you know, buying homes anywhere from, you know, 100,000 to say even 400,000.
Right.
You know, because there are some communities where 400 doesn't get you a heck of a lot.
Although
except a big monthly payment.
Right. But every movement in the market, you know, that $750,000 buyer came from the middle and moved up, and that helped the first-time home buyer buy that one for that person to move up, and you know. you know, it'd be a standstill if they didn't get it and they don't buy. Would be
but it's
not moving any of that market. You know?
But at some point, I mean, I could see if, you know, there's a need for revenue at the federal and state level, and I could see them finessing it where at some point we have to wean you off. You know, we helped you when you bought that house for $150,000, and we let you deduct all the interest, and it saved you, you know, a few $100 a month. And when you moved up to that one for $250, we stuck by you. You know, same thing when you finally bought that big old McMansion for $400. But now you want to buy something for $750 or $850. You know, you should call your Uncle Tony for help. You know what I mean? If you're having trouble making ends, that's just me. You know, it's almost like that thing when they're talking about income taxes and, you know, maybe finessing it a little bit. Maybe it's not the working couple with $250. Maybe it's the working couple or everybody making $1 million or more, kicking in a little bit.
But it does also cut into the available income that people do have to spend in their communities that keep our economy going. So, you know, do you balance taxation with the ability to keep the economy moving?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate in that we've set the whole thing up so we're supposed to spend.
Yeah.
Right.
There's nothing really to encourage saving.
No.
You know, and every once in a while some crackpot will propose something that really makes sense and we should be saving more money, but none of us do.
We try.
We do try, but you know, it's, you know.
But the whole thing is they want you to spend. That's what keeps everything going.
It keeps the economy rolling.
Yeah, saving's a bad thing. Saving is bad. Go out and buy 5 houses this weekend.
Yeah.
We know some good realtors.
And speaking of trying to buy 5 houses this weekend, one of the other things we've been active with in Washington is there are some people who would try to get the minimum down payment up to 20%. Right. Now, I realize that you know, during the time when there was the run-up with all those liar loans and they were getting 100% financing, we don't want to go back to those days.
Right.
But, you know, it's so hard for people to save with the cost of groceries and gasoline and rent that, you know, just if somebody's buying, say, a starter home for $200,000, that's $10,000 they have to save, plus some closing costs. So you're talking $15,000. It could take them 10 years to save $15,000.
Yeah,
they're still paying student loans.
Yeah.
Right. It's difficult.
Yeah.
You know.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they don't do that.
and
but you got to put some skin in the game, but not. Yeah, that's.
Not an arm and a leg.
Right.
Just a little bit of skin.
Just a little skin.
Right. And I think it goes to having the loans well underwritten. So the people who are qualifying for the loans do qualify for the payments that they're obligated to.
Right.
And once they're in place, even if they didn't have 20% down, they're in a more comfortable payment range. So I think if it's a well underwritten loan, we should be able to get that person into a home without having them take 10 to 14 years of saving in order to be a homeowner.
Yeah, to come up with $40,000 on a $200,000 home.
Right.
You know, it's not easy. It's not easy. And now there's even been talk of doing away with the 30-year mortgage. I mean, for a while there, it seemed like everything was trending to the 40-year note.
Yeah, that changed.
But, you know, how realistic are some of these topics? I mean,
well, I think the pendulum has swung so far in one direction. We really need to bring it back to the middle where lending is safe, but it also is affordable for the people who are eligible to buy homes.
Right. I think the banks are more savvy now, and they're putting people in homes and making sure they can afford them. Before, when it was no money down, they escalated what they could afford. I mean, it was way more than they couldn't. I mean, it was almost probably 2 paychecks, you know, when it should maybe be 1.5 or something that goes to your mortgage and everything else. It was just crazy, but now it's done. It's reality. It's coming down, and the people that are buying homes now can afford them, and I think they're okay now.
Especially at the prices they're paying today.
They are. The pricing, too, is a lot better, and there's a lot more affordable inventory out there.
And the rates. Between the rates and the prices, this is like the best situation.
If I was your age and still young, I'd be out buying 5 houses every weekend.
Yeah.
You know, because I knew I had time to wait 20 years to cash in, and you're just not going to be able to find a nice 2-story single-family home with about 1,500 square feet for $137,500 for too much, you know, forever.
No.
No, you're not.
You know?
And have a good interest rate.
Yeah,
It's just unheard of.
They're in the 4s and
4.8
5s.
now, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's as close as free money as you can get.
Yeah.
I know that you were around
For the other times.
for the other times. Yeah, I remember when rates came down to 12%. Rates dropped down to 12, and then they fell to 10.
I know, it was unheard of. It was wonderful.
It was like
I remember 16%.
Yeah, well, and then when they fell to 12, everybody came out.
It was
and
crazy,
then when they fell to 10, it was like almost like Barnum and Bailey circus, you know what I mean? You needed like a chair and a whip to keep the people at bay because they were just willing to buy and
Usually
buy
when the
and
rates
buy.
were high, prices were low and vice versa, but now you got the best of both worlds right now.
Yeah.
So, if anybody says it's a bad market, it isn't. It is the time to buy. If you have, if you're looking, they should do it.
And, we can put you in touch if you have a question that you'd like to have me address to either Kelly Lewis or to Sue Schmidt, or you'd like some information regarding the golf tournament, you can send me an email to letstalkrealestate@verizon.net, and I'll get those answers for you. We'll get you directions emailed. And also, if you'd like a copy of today's episode, send an email along. Include your name, address, and your phone number so that we can verify. And for the first 100 respondents, we will send you out a free copy of today's episode. Sue, I'd like to thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
And Kelly, always a
Charlie.
pleasure. Good luck at the golf game, and let's remember those who gave all.
Right.
Yes.
Thanks. And we'll see you next time on Let's Talk Real Estate.